Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these reversible scarecrow snowman pieces. They're great for the holidays. You can use them anywhere from October all the way to January. They're great to use by your door, at your fireplaces. They're great to do with your friends or your family on a rainy day, or just for a craft day to have some fun. First of all, we're going to go through what kind of supplies you're going to need to make this. First, you are going to need a piece of pallet board. You can get these from almost any kind of store that gets large shipments. I know that Lowe's will give them away for free if you ask, so they're very easy to come by. You also need some paint. You can get any of these sizes. It really just depends on how many you're going to make. I've made several over the last few months, so I have a couple of larger size canisters, but they range anywhere from like $1 to $7. And like I said, it just depends on how many you're planning on making. You can get a variety of colors. It just depends on what colors you want to add to yours. And we'll go over that more when we get to the actual painting part. You can also use stain. This is optional. You don't have to use it. But like I said, we'll go over this more when we get to that stage. You'll also need a variety of brushes. Anywhere from little to large, about a 1-inch brush or so will do. And the little ones are great for when you're actually painting the faces and stuff on the pieces. This liquid nail is also optional. It's set to help glue the boards together, but like I said, this is also optional. That does not have to be done. You will need some wood screws or a nail of some sort. We've been using wood screws. They hold up great. And then power tool wise, some people may not have power tools, but I'm pretty sure probably most of your husbands have them laying around. You're going to need a drill, and you're also going to need a reciprocating saw, and then a skill saw. You could probably get away with not using the skill saw, but you're definitely going to need the reciprocating saw. So the first thing you're going to want to do is break down your pallet. This is probably the worst part, because once you start breaking down a lot, your hand starts to go numb from all this vibration. And it also helps if you probably have somebody hold the pallet board for you. But I'm only going to cut one piece. Hopefully I can do it by myself. Please be careful and don't cut off your fingers. So basically you just want to take this blade and stick it in between this piece of slab and the one that is nailed to. The good thing about using this is it cuts right through the nails. You can try to pry these apart, but it's very hard and a lot more work than you want to do. So, like I said, you just put this through here. I'm going to show y'all how to do this. It's going to be loud for a second, but it's the easiest way to break these apart. And just like that, this end is free. You'll do the same thing in the middle and the other end. You're going to need at least 5 or 6 of these slabs on front to complete your project. Once these are cut off, you'll have these 3 little slabs just like this. You're going to have 4 of them, and that's what's going to make the body of your scarecrow and snowman. This is where the liquid nails comes into play. If you want to use that, like I said, you don't have to. But if you take the liquid nails and you just run it across the edge of each board, well, not the outside edge, but the inside edges, you're going to glue them together. I actually have some clamps that I use to help clamp them, but I actually don't have them out here. But you can clamp them together and glue them, or you don't have to glue them. That's totally up to the individual. The extra 2 pieces that you have are going to be the pieces that you use to make the hat portion of the figure. That's where the skill saw will come into play. Like I said, you can probably get away with cutting these 2 with the reciprocating saw. It just may not be a straight edge or as a straight edge. as you'd like it to be. But you're going to need 2 pieces. I like to take 2 and just stack them on top of each other, cut them at the same time, that way they'll be the same length, and then you have your hat. So once you do that, you'll come and lay it across your pieces of board once you have them glued together. And when they're glued together, they'll look like this. You can hold them as one board. You don't have to worry about falling apart or anything like that. So like I said, when they're glued together, that's when you'll take your hat piece, you're going to lay it across it. I don't really do any measuring. I just lay it up there where I see it needs to go. Once you do that, that's when you'll get your drill. And you'll get a couple of screws. And you're going to screw this hat in. And when you screw the hat in, that also helps secure these boards together. That's why you don't really have to use the liquid nails if you don't want to. That's totally optional. But the liquid nails is only $2 or some change from Walmart. And it just helps make the piece a little more sturdy. So when you figure out where you want your hat to go, you're going to take a screw, you're going to pick a place on the board, and you're going to screw it in. My drill's done, put that one in. You'll do 2 screws on each side, and then you'll reverse it. You'll line up the boards and screw in the second piece. And when that's done, you'll have 2 pieces of the hat on each side, and you're ready for the next stage, which is painting. The painting part is the easy part. It's probably the more fun part if you're a creative person. You can pretty much do anything you'd like to do as far as colors go. I've already stained the scarecrow side. You pick a dark stain and a light stain, or no stain at all. I've seen where people have just painted the hats brown, left the wood natural, or they have stained it. It's totally up to you whether you do that or not. You do pretty much the same thing on the snowman side, and you can see I've started painting this section. You're going to paint the top half black. You're going to do the bottom half white for the snowman. It doesn't have to be perfect. It depends on how rustic you want it to look. I personally like a more rustic look. But you literally just paint right over the wood, just like this. And then once you finish these 2 sections is when you'll start the face part. Sometimes I stain first and then do this second, because usually by the time I finish painting this portion, the stain part is pretty much set to where I can start painting over top of that. This is where everybody can get as creative as they'd like to. I found one of these online and kind of went by that. There were several online with different faces. Some of them even had little flowers up here pinned. It's totally up to you on how you do it. So, and like I said, the paint, as far as what colors you'd like to use, that is totally up to you. I use a basic white for the eyes, and then I outline them in black. I use just a rustic orange color for my nose, and then I just picked like a dark pinkish red color for their little cheeks. So, very easy to do. This is where you can get as creative as you want to. Everybody can do something different. It's totally up to each individual. But there you have it. A snowman scarecrow piece. It's very easy to do. Don't be intimidated by the power tools. They're very easy to use. I taught myself. And like I said, it's just a great project to do. If you have kids, it'll be fun to do with them. Hopefully you learned how to make them. Maybe you'll go make one yourself. And I hope you enjoyed this video.